GST is temporary.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll smother the issues with blah blah, but it all being about the economic action plan.
This will be a historic step.
After his speech, Harper was thanked by the Speaker of the House of Lords, the British equivalent to our Senate.
Of journalists' sources and internet users' personal data, in particular from the C30 bill on cybercrime.
And Al-Shabaab pose a persistent threat to Canada.
And that's exactly how we start out the show. Hi there, I'm Darin Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
It's so good to be here today because, well, we've got the Harper conservatives screwing up, gaining speed.
Acting like total idiots.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, we've had to do some extra shows here. We've got some stuff coming up. Our apologies that some of the stuff is coming up late, but we're just catching up. This is Radio Free Canada. Let's start things off with this.
Don't you try to bully me. Let me remind you, you're talking to the Prime Minister here. Oh, Mom, listen, I gotta go. Yep, I'll call you back later. No, I haven't put on any weight. Yeah, bye. Yes, Minister, what did you find out?
Well, sir, as usual in the Environment Ministry, it's kind of a good news, bad news situation. First, the bad news. Apparently there's a bunch more scientific reports out there that claim the greenies were right all along. The tar sands are bad for the environment.
Dang it, I can't get a break.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one coming either. But the good news is we believe that we can still sell the tar sands as environmentally friendly.
Really? Can't we just fire more scientists?
Been there.
Close their labs?
Done that, sir. No, we're going to have to step this one up. We're going to have to greenwash our way out of this mess.
Green what? Green jeans?
Green
sleeves? Green gables?
Green wash,
what?
sir. Green wash.
See, we'll use millions of tax dollars to create the slickest ad campaign since GST is temporary.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll smother the issues with blah blah, but it all being about the economic action plan to create jobs.
People would actually believe that?
Oh, sir, you put enough actors in lab coats and throw enough money at it, people will believe anything. We'll call it the Responsible Resource Development Plan.
It almost sounds true.
That's the beauty of it, sir.
According to recent polls, the majority of Canadians out there want Canada to be environmentally friendly. So why shouldn't they be the ones to pay for it? Right? We will convince them that the tar sands are not only environmentally friendly, but they're good for the ozone layer. It'll stop illiteracy. It'll alleviate erectile dysfunction. And that's just the tip of the melting iceberg.
Why are you here breathing my oxygen? Go sell the tar sands.
Right away, sir.
The federal government is spending $60 million of your dollars on ads to greenwash the tar sands. Tell Harper you want green energy, not green wash. Go to stopgreenwash.ca to take action.
Okay, so is that true? Is that what they call it? The Economic Responsibility Environment Program?
Well, that sounds Harperish enough to me.
It sounds Harperish enough. Remember in the last show we were talking about the fact that they had $10 million hanging around at the PMO's office just in case they have to pay off $90,000 bills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the mainstream media on that?
Oh, and nowhere to be found.
Where's the $3.1 billion? Where's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the investigation, okay?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to trust them in government, I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of an oxymoron, I know.
When a corporation has control of government, we call it fascism. This is your update. Let's run a clip at RFC.
When it comes to the economy, Stephen Harper and British Prime Minister David Cameron see pretty much eye to eye. And today, Harper offered Cameron public words of encouragement as he spoke to a group of British MPs and Lords. Cameron's austerity program is under attack, but Harper says other countries should follow Britain's lead. Within Europe, there's much debate about whether to abandon deficit-fighting plans. But Harper says it's a choice that doesn't need to be made.
That in many countries there is considerable debate between austerity and growth. Let me tell you, it is a false dichotomy. You need good measures of both.
On this trip, Harper is trying to speed along negotiations for a Canada-EU trade deal. A deal, he says, will bring Canada and the UK even closer.
For Canada and for Great Britain, as a member of the EU, this will be a historic step.
After his speech, Harper was thanked by the Speaker of the House of Lords, the British equivalent to our Senate. And she reminded Harper of his Senate problems back home.
I shall watch developments in Canada with great interest as I'm sure you will. Who knows, where one chamber goes, the other may follow.
Harper was given a warm welcome from this group of MPs and lords, but outside the British Parliament, not so much. A group of striking Canadian Foreign Service workers greeted his motorcade,
Harper, we don't want your dirty oil!
and anti-oil sands protesters called Harper a climate criminal.
Stephen Harper's policies and support for the tar sands industry are leading us towards the point of irreversible runaway climate change.
After his speech, Harper met privately with David Cameron, the two leaders discussing ongoing negotiations towards a Canada-EU trade deal. A deal Cameron says is close to being done.
And he's like the most unpopular guy on the planet.
Yeah, so he's over there touting the European trade agreement. He actually was unsuccessful in getting the deal signed, so he came back sad.
Oh,
sad Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for him all the time. He's over there and he's touting the company bank line.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like we should be sucking up to bankers and justifying our lives through their accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's why we say fascism.
He is a
right?
fascist.
Yeah. In Brazil, they know what to do with them there. They're taking ATM machines out for a stroll, and it's an amazing amount of protests over corruption over there.
Yeah, it started out they were ticked off about the bus fare hikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the straw that broke the camel's back? Just like Mayor Walter Gray, they were upping the transit rates, making the poor suffer while the rich get richer and they build towers.
Yeah.
Okay, and they had a bit of a thing over there. My question is, what do we do to get Harper to wake up? Or can we get him to wake up?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of fighting.
You think
for
so?
sure. In a good way.
In a good,
but, I'm not to say fighting in a bad way, but it's up to us now. Yeah.
It's up to us.
But we definitely can't depend on the mainstream press to help us out because once again, they're dropping in the world's eyes as far as freedoms go.
Yeah, no kidding, okay. Do you want to run this? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Freedom of the press is on the decline in Canada. This, according to Reporters Without Borders' 2013 World Press Freedom Index. Canada, which used to occupy a top 10 position for press freedom, plummeted to 20th place in this year's report.
This goes to show, in my opinion, the fact that we're 20th on the scale means that our government is actually afraid of the people. Freedom of the press is essential. It's extremely essential. And to me, that means that journalists need to have the freedom to report all the facts uncensored.
Reporters Without Borders stated in their report,
Canada fell 10 positions to 20th, losing its status as the Western Hemisphere's leader to Jamaica, 13th. This was due to obstruction of journalists during the so-called Maple Springs student movement and to continuing threats to the confidentiality of journalists' sources and internet users' personal data, in particular from the C-30 bill on cybercrime.
Jamaica, the Czech Republic, Namibia, and Estonia all now outrank Canada for press freedom, according to the Reporters Without Borders report. Despite the pressure exerted on journalists, especially at protests in Canada, the Harper government and pro-Harper regime propaganda organs choose to continue to focus on the lack of journalistic freedoms in foreign countries rather than address domestic problems. Joshua Blakeney, Press TV, Calgary.
Wow. I mean.
Wow. Behind Jamaica?
We're behind Estonia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got stone in the word.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we've got freedom over here better than Canada.
And we're the true north, strong and free.
Yeah.
Does that make us the weak and unfree?
Well, actually, no. Look at the States, okay? Irony Day is coming up in the States, July the 4th.
Oh, Independence Day.
Well, I mean, freedom of the press is like one of the first things to go.
Yes.
Down the road. So this is a warning sign.
It is. It's one of those things that we got to take a look at the crumbling civilization that we're a part of. We talk extensively about the fact that the media is not covering this story, but now we're starting to see cracks in that vice grip against real reality, and they're starting to actually report the story a bit.
Yeah.
Just a bit,
Just a bit.
enough.
It up. Yeah, they have to keep with the culture in order to seem legitimate.
Yeah.
You know,
So they-
only a little bit, though. It
Yeah.
waters it down.
The CBC put out that awesome statement on power and politics where it said there were a few small protests in Brazil.
Yeah.
We have the internet. Oh, wait a second. That's the internet calling. Let's run a real quick clip, and then we'll be right back. And I'm going to find out who didn't turn the phone off.
As most Canadians already know, global violent extremist groups such as Al-Qaeda have been the leading terrorist threat to Canada for many years. This has not changed. Al-Qaeda itself is weaker today than it once was, but it still poses a threat. It provides guidance to other terrorist groups, particularly its regional affiliates. These affiliates, including Al-Qaeda in Iraq, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, and Al-Shabaab, pose a persistent threat to Canada. Al-Qaeda and its affiliates remain interested in conducting international terrorist attacks. Our government has listed over 40 different terrorist groups under the criminal code that pose a threat to Canada, Canadians, and Canadian interests.
So, of course, they've got to toe that company line about how Al-Qaeda is a threat to Canada.
Yes, this fear-mongering moment brought to you by the Ministry of Public Safety with Mr. Vic Toews.
Yes. Mr. Vic Toews painting that terror and fear so that people can be fearful.
The persistent threat.
Yes, always. You know,
Yeah.
we talk about this all the time, that we say, why do you guys keep saying that? You know, you have a domestic dispute you blew out of proportion about a train derailment. Okay, that's a dad turning in his son because he was sick of him, you know, not getting a job.
But it's terrorism.
But it's terrorism, and the RCMP made a huge deal out of it. Just so happens on the day that they were announcing BS.
I'm still wondering what happened to that $3.2 billion that was supposed to be spent on anti-terrorism.
Yes, that we aren't looking for. How come we aren't looking for that? That's the other question, too. Okay, why aren't we looking for $3.2 billion that's missing? Okay, but I mean...
Al-Qaeda stole it.
Yes.
That must be it, yes. But maybe we could find it with our, signals intelligence system.
The one thing that does get me, though, is the fact that they don't think we have the internet, that we can't put two and two together. Okay, just because you're talking to a whole bunch of people that listen to lamestream media doesn't mean you have credibility. No. Nobody's watching the news anyways.
I don't believe any Western government has any credibility left.
Mark Twain said it the best. Don't believe anything the government has to say, and we are questioning it. Make sure you question authority. We've got a whole other segment coming up. I'm Darin Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
Yes, we're going fast and furious today because we've got a lot of ground to cover. Remember, we're looking forward to Freeloaders, a great expose talking about government and the sham of what's going on. That's coming up September the 15th. July, though, Christy Clark is coming to Kelowna.
Yay!
We'll be there. You know.
Wow, that was underwhelming.
Oh, hang on a second. Golf clap for all of the activists out there. Way to go. We're going to have more of an activist update right here, and we're going to be telling you what our plans are as Radio Free Canada continues, and we'll be right back.
Since 1971, when President Nixon took the United States off what was left of the gold standard, the world has operated under a system of money called fiat. The dollar, the pound, the euro are all government fiat currencies. Fiat is a Latin word meaning let it be so. It is the law that this government currency be money. Indeed, without that legal enforcement, and the fact that we must pay taxes in this money, that dollar bill or that computer digit that represents a dollar would be pretty much meaningless. Only the government has the power to issue fiat money, but banks can create it through lending. If somebody wants to borrow $10, a bank can create it from nowhere and lend it. It can then charge interest. Banks also create money by lending against an asset, such as a house. They're given the deeds to the house, and they create the money out of nowhere and lend it, at interest, of course. But who benefits? Of course, those that have the power to issue money, governments and banks. They haven't had to do anything productive, they just create money.